I lurk on a great many writers' groups online. Sooner or later, somebody always poses the question, how many words do you write per day? The responses are all over the map, as you might expect, but there's always an underlying sense of competition, like discussing belt notches in a locker room. It's sort of the opposite of that old game show, Name That Tune, in which contestants would vie to see how few notes they would need to hear in order to name a particular song. I've read that a select few authors claim to write a mind-boggling 10,000 words per day. I have no reason to doubt their assertions, but I can't really recommend that pace as a goal. Furthermore, unless you're comparing genres, you're trying to equate apples with oranges. For example, if I'm writing a story set in a fantasy world of my imagination, I can write faster than when I'm writing a historical romance. With historical romance, I have to do a lot of research that takes up a great deal of time. I must look up world events of the era.
Novels that had been published, the clothing that was in fashion, the food, the music, the theatrical events of the day, and even the etymology of the language.
That is to say, if my story is set in 1899, I can't have my characters using words that had not yet come into common parlance. Nevertheless, the urge to compare yourself to others is difficult to resist. That being said, how many words per day is a good pace? Personally, I consider 1,000 words a day to be the equivalent of a gentle jog that would allow an author to release 4 full-length novels a year. 2,000 words per day would be a satisfying run. More than that is a sprint. Of course, there's a great deal of latitude on what constitutes a full-length novel, and it varies by genre.
On Wikipedia, a work of 40,000 words and up is classified as a full-length novel, while the National Novel Writing Month organization requires a novel to be at least 50,000 words.
I'll enclose a link in the description below about genre novels and word count from Digital Book Reader. Although I think the article is geared more toward authors who intend to submit their work to publishers and agents, it still provides a good overview. For independent authors, I think the most important guide to book length is reader expectation. I would advise authors to look at other books in the same genre to see if the number of pages in your book is within the same range. If you intend to submit your book to BookBub for a featured deal, you should know they require books of at least 150 pages. There are many authors advocating for a rapid release strategy as a way to make the most amount of money in the shortest period of time. I'll enclose a link to a YouTube video entitled How One Author Went From Zero to $40,000 a Month on Amazon, featuring author Michael Anderle. In the video, he talks about a release schedule of 3 weeks. So for me, a historical romance novel of about 70,000 words would have to be written in 2 weeks, leaving the third week for editing, polish, and designing a cover. That's 5,000 words a day without a break. I might be able to pull that off for one novel, but then I'm staring down the next 3 weeks at the same pace. Although I think these authors are amazing, a rapid release schedule just isn't in the cards for me. You might be different, and that's the whole point of this video. It's good to know what's out there in terms of expectations and common practices, but each author is a unique individual. I strive to work for my personal best, and so should you. Talk to you soon. Name that tune.